How's it going? Welcome back to another great video with the majestic, the crazy one, yes, Savior. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, make sure that you do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds for you guys, but it means absolutely everything to me. So please do consider subscribing and giving this video a like if you do enjoy it. And consider checking out my music on Spotify. My new album, Nova, has just been released. And if you like synth music, if you like the soundtrack from Cyberpunk 2077 and Starfield, then I'm sure you will like my music and it would mean so much to me. Now, with all of that shilling out of the way, because I haven't got a corporate sponsor today, let's get on with the video. Now, a lot of people are eating their words when they said No Man's Lie.
Bang, okay?
So we are now in the prime time of space RPGs, okay? Just when I thought the gaming industry was going downhill and we were just, getting garbage release after garbage release, everything being basically unfinished or filled with microtransactions or just generic, sloppy design. That's basically what we've had for the last couple of years, but it seems now finally the gaming industry is getting their shit together and they're finally actually being innovative and coming up with creative ideas. And I have to just say how much I respect the fact that some developers, like the developers of Cyberpunk 2077 and the developers of No Man's Sky, they didn't just leave their broken games in the dirt like certain companies like Rockstar or Battlefield, okay? They worked hard on bringing their games up to date and, trying to capture what they promised originally. And with No Man's Sky, I just have to say now it's a completely different game.
Alright, guys, we have a lot of world premieres still to go. We got Hello Games' first next-gen game. It's called No Man's Sky. Check it out.
Thank you.
No Man's Sky has completely transformed, and I'm proud to say that this game is actually such an amazing game now. And today I just thought I would cover No Man's Sky and talk about No Man's Sky in 2023 and give you this No Man's Sky 2023 review. Now, especially lots of people are comparing the new release Starfield to No Man's Sky, and they are completely different games, okay? And especially now with No Man's Sky and all of its updates and the fact that we finally got Starfield and we can talk about it and we can clearly see it's not the same type of game as No Man's Sky. But I still think now is a good time to talk about it because there are some people that just simply don't like that type of role-playing RPG, even if it is dressed up in, space, and even if it is all about space travel and exploration and all that kind of stuff. Some people just aren't fans of Bethesda, and that's fair enough. I personally think their games are amazing, but I understand that some people just don't gel with them. We have a lot of haters who just love to ride that kind of skeptical train. Usually it's for views, and that's why we see so many articles and clickbaity YouTubers like Luke Stevens who basically, dog on Starfield, even though it is a massive achievement and what they've managed to do with Starfield is just amazing. But still, there are some people who don't want that type of experience and they want the space exploration. And this is where I feel like it's important to talk about No Man's Sky now, especially with the release of Starfield, because that is one thing I do think Starfield failed at, is the space exploration part of the game. You don't feel that you're actually traveling through space that much. It's more of a menu vehicle transportation type system. But I do think that Starfield is trying to be more realistic and space is just so gigantic. If we went to Alpha Centauri and the system in real life, with our current technology, it would take almost 200,000 years, which is literally insane. So I think people underestimate just how crazy space actually is, how much of it is purely just dark matter, and as the universe expands, you know, it's just it gets less and less dense with actual matter, galaxies, and, you know, planets, moons, all that kind of stuff. So traveling throughout space, actually realistically, it's, you know, the human brain can't even imagine it, and I absolutely love that, and that's why I love sci-fi. But No Man's Sky basically is a completely different experience to Starfield, and you could say it's a little bit more unrealistic, but they are both games. Of course, the games don't need to be hyper-realistic, and, you know, the transportation systems can be different, but there's no denying that the space travel in No Man's Sky is much better. So I just thought now would be a perfect time to take a look at No Man's Sky in 2023, give you this 2023 No Man's Sky review, because some people are just simply going to be put off by Starfield. A lot of people are saying it's not like the old Bethesda games that they love, because it's not that connected, and the space travel, like I said, isn't as good. So I would suggest, even though they are very separate games, if you're looking for that space travel experience, No Man's Sky is the best game possible at the moment, and I would say it's more fleshed out now and just much more complete than something like Star Citizen. So let's quickly talk about that.
Left the sun and moon behind. Galaxies waiting to be found. Planets rich in resources. Battles to be fought. Treasures unknown. A universe you wouldn't believe.
I do hope you enjoy this No Man's Sky review in 2023, because these developers are just goddamn crazy. You know, they started off as a small team, they had way too much hype behind them, and they just simply got carried away with the hype and the, you know, massive amount of interest, because of course if you're saying you're creating a massive universe that basically doesn't end in a game, of course people are going to take notice. So what type of game is No Man's Sky in 2023? If you haven't jumped in and you haven't played it since it launched, you know, I've only played it recently for a little bit just so I can understand what the updates are, and there's so much going on now. You can literally traverse the universe and create massive settlements and use different types of vehicles on ground as well as in the air. You can basically build up a massive fleet and have your own massive starship to command. Honestly, it does a lot of things better than Starfield, because the role-playing, even though it's not character-driven, if you do role-playing with your friends or on multiplayer, then this game can be even more rewarding, I would say, because, like I said, they've added so much to it now. There are so many different types of alien life, there's better combat. With No Man's Sky in 2023, now you can actually tame creatures and do creature alien breeding.
What if these are our last days and we spend them scurrying around?
Come on, Liara. We're being okay?
No Man's Sky in 2023 is completely transformed, and you won't recognize it if you've only ever played it on release. They've added VR support, new massive different types of aliens that you can interact with, new languages of the aliens that you have to break down and learn. They've got these giant space worms, which remind me a lot of Dune, which is super cool. And the fact that the graphics got completely overhauled. Now planets are completely different, and they don't just feel like, you know, a retextured landscape. Now they actually have different, you know, biology and life on them, and they can just be radically different, which is super cool. You know, you will get these fluorescent planets, you will get some strange alien plant life and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, now you can have mechs, you can have these giant vehicles on land. There's even a story mode that's been added. They've even added story-based missions and basically a whole campaign to the game. There's just so much that they've added, which I just find absolutely breathtaking. Of course, they've overhauled the weather systems as well, and there are more, you know, kind of elemental dangers actually traversing these new planets. They've just added so much, you know, gigantic buildings now, and of course mod support. So I just think No Man's Sky is now just so great, and is a very different experience from Starfield, like I said, but it does do a lot of things better. There's a whole outlaw segment to the game now, and different missions based around that. It just feels far more dynamic, you know, trading with different life forms and understanding their backgrounds, the lore, and, you know, learning their language and stuff like that. The economy is super fleshed out. That is something that's far better in No Man's Sky, I would say, than Starfield. But don't get me wrong, okay? I think Starfield does so many things that is literally next level, and they are fundamentally very different games. But if you really just want that space exploration without, you know, so much choice in your actions and interesting characters that you interact with and all that kind of stuff, No Man's Sky will surprise you now, because it's come a long way in 2023, and it's honestly a completely different game. And I think with a lot of people complaining, instead of just dogging on another game, why not give No Man's Sky a try? Because now with its updated visuals, it's been updated like 2 times now. You know, this just feels like they are passionate developers, and they are getting as close as possible to what they originally promised. And honestly, this game is well deserved. So if you want that type of seamless space travel and the possibility to walk around an entire planet, then you can do that with No Man's Sky. And I think it's stupid having this, you know, kind of tribal mentality, especially when it comes to games, consoles, or anything in life, be it politics or your beliefs. You know, enjoy what you want, and, you know, don't care about what other people dislike or like. What matters is what you enjoy, and I honestly think both experiences are great in their own right, but it's pretty stupid to compare them. But of course they will get compared, and I just thought now was an interesting time to talk about No Man's Sky in 2023. So I do hope you enjoyed this No Man's Sky review in 2023, my No Man's Sky 2023 review. Yes, I have to say that many times because the YouTube algorithm will never recommend this video otherwise. Isn't being a YouTuber great? But anyway, let me know if you are enjoying Starfield and your thoughts around that game, and just space games in general. I think finally they are getting the love and attention they deserve, because space is such an interesting subject, and, you know, humans need to wonder and be curious more about the universe that we live in, instead of just focusing in our, you know, tiny little bubble. There's so much that we don't understand, and there's so much to learn, and humanity will humble itself if they learn more about the universe and understand that we are all part of the same organism. And I just love exploring space, especially in games, and as technology improves, then, you know, it just gets better and better. I might do a retrospective on another favorite space game of mine at some point. I'll let you know what that is in another video, but I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure that you do subscribe if you are new, it would mean a lot, and share this video around, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.